Going on, everyone? So, unless something changes between now and the start of the game, it looks like Gabe Vincent is back for the Lakers. He only played 4 games thus far this season for the Lakers, and in that time, he was rough, to say the least. So in 4 games, he played an average of 28.3 minutes per game. He shot under 40%, not much, but a hair under 40%, 39.3%. And he shot .07, that's right, .07, not even a percent from three-point range. He was like 1 of 14 from 3 when he got hurt. He has an EFG of 41.1%. He is shooting 71.4% from two-point range, which is good. He was averaging 6 points, 3 assists, 1.5 steals, which was huge, and 1 rebound per game. 6'3" guard, he's 27 years old. He was one of the key acquisitions for the Lakers this offseason. He was a guy that was supposed to be the Dennis Schroeder replacement, a guard that could be a point of attack, right? Guard that can play off of LeBron James. He can start, he can come off the bench, he can be very versatile, right? Especially in the Western Conference with all the guards and just the league in general, right? There's a lot of top guards in the NBA period. And to have a guy like a Gabe Vincent who can get after it, who can hustle. He's also a guy that elevates his game in the playoffs. His playoff numbers are much better than his regular season numbers, although that is a concern. Something I even talked about when we first signed him to the deal. Could he replicate what he did in the playoffs in the regular season? Same thing with a Rui Hachimura, right? Rui was great in the playoffs, but can he replicate that in the regular season? It's kind of the same thing with Gabe Vincent. No, Gabe Vincent wasn't putting up 30 in the playoffs, but he did elevate his game. He was shooting more efficiently, more effectively. All of those things matter. He got to 38% from 3. Can he do that for the Lakers? If he can be a 38% three-point shooter, be a great point of attack defender, it's also the little things that he does. He does a lot, especially if you watched him in Miami in particular. You're hoping that stuff translates with the Lakers. He was a guy that he was willing to sacrifice his body. He was diving for loose balls. He was making the impact plays. He was getting the steal. He was hitting the big clutch shot. He was just doing and impacting the game in so many different areas. Just being that trap defender, right? Just being a guy that isn't constantly getting beat. Because he is our best guard defender, right? Austin Reeves, teams are literally targeting him because he's so atrocious defensively this season. D'Angelo Russell has been better, but he's not great. He's not a great defensive guy. He's playing some of the best defense he has probably ever in his career, but he's not some elite, great, just can be a pest type of defender. Where you look at a guy like Gabe Vincent, that's what you're hoping he can provide for the Lakers. Also, Dennis Schroeder, right? It would be nice to have kept him, don't get me wrong, but I understand the logic behind Gabe Vincent, right? Dennis Schroeder's upside was higher, right? When Dennis Schroeder was on, the guy was ridiculous, right? Dennis Schroeder would go give you a 20-8 game and just look like, oh man, this guy should be starting. This guy is ridiculous, right? He's playing lockdown defense. He's dropping 20s, hitting 3s, hitting clutch shots to win games in the in-season tournament or the play-in tournament, right? And it's that was what he provided. Problem was he was very inconsistent in that, right? He'd have one game where he'd go give you 20, and he looks like one of the best point guards in the league. And then he'd go have another game where he's 2 of 13 from the field and looks almost unplayable outside of his defense, of course, because he was that pest. He was that constant nuisance on the defensive side of the basketball. Where Gabe Vincent, the idea with him is that he's more consistent. Right? Yes, he's very likely. He might have a game. He even had a game with the Lakers where he gave you 18. But more likely than not, he's very rarely, unless he's just hot, is going to go and drop 18 to 20 points. But he is a guy that night in and night out will give you, 9 to 10 points, maybe 12 points. He'll give you a couple steals. And you just kind of know what you're going to get on a regular basis. Where Schroeder, you had this kind of up and flow. It was like this roller coaster ride with Schroeder, where Vincent is just more of a constant, which I don't mind for this Lakers team. And the Lakers kind of need that right now. That's the problem, is the Lakers don't really have consistency from anybody outside of LeBron James and Anthony Davis, right? But this is also a good sign that our entire roster will be back and healthy, or should be, for this game, assuming that Anthony Davis and LeBron James play. Now, Jalen Hood-Schifino, he's still out, but how much would he play if he plays at all? The main guys, the guys that are supposed to be the impactful players, the guys that are supposed to get heavy minutes, everybody should be healthy. Everyone should be ready to go. Defense with Gabe Vincent, if he can stay healthy and everyone can stay healthy, should only improve. Lakers are hovering around back and forth around 7th in defense. And that's with all of just the inconsistencies as far as the roster goes, right? I mean, most of our top defensive guys have been in and out of the lineup all season long. And even Jared Vanderbilt, you could see him, he's trying to get back into a rhythm. He's trying to get back into flow, but he doesn't look 100%, right? His timing is off, right? He's getting beat in areas that he just never used to get beat in and stuff. So it's going to take him probably a couple handful of games to get back into being the Jared Vanderbilt we know and love. Same thing with Gabe Vincent, right? Don't expect Gabe Vincent to come in and just be this super elite guy or just locking down. And he's got to get his timing down. He's got to get his footwork down. He's got to get his shot down. Everything that we saw or what we expect from Gabe Vincent, it's going to take him a little time to get into that. But hopefully, I mean, I would love if he just came back and was better. I mean, he can't be much worse than he was before the injury. So it's just good to kind of get everyone back. Guys can stay healthy. I fully expect us to be one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in the entire league. Problem is our offense, right? And as long as you have Cam Reddish and Jared Vanderbilt, you add in a Gabe Vincent, Taurean Prince has been good, not great, but he's been good. He's been one of our better defensive guys this year, right? You got them. And then, of course, Anthony Davis, best defense player in the world. Lakers are going to be elite defensively, because now you just have more bodies, more capable guys, right? Playing Chicago, you're going to end up, I mean, you got like Colby White, you got DeMar DeRozan, right? You got guys that can get hot, especially Colby White he's been game busters right now, right? The dude's just been as hot as you can be. So to have Cam Reddish to throw at him, to have, a Gabe Vincent to throw at him, to have a Jared Vanderbilt to throw at him, I think is going to be very important and just going forward. My big concern is just the offense, right? And with the Lakers they're around like 25th, 26th offensively, it's not good, right? Defense isn't our problem. We're a top 10 defense, and we're probably going to move into the top 5 sooner rather than later. But the offense, right? Like, Gabe Vincent isn't going to solve our offensive woes, right? I mean, he may help slightly, right? Maybe he takes us from, if everyone's healthy and everything's well, right? Let's say everything's good. Maybe we go from like 25th, 26th to like 23rd or 22nd, right? Which would be an improvement, but we need to start getting into like that top 10. I really believed that we were going to be top 10 offense, top 10 defense at worst. And it just hasn't happened. We've been top 10 defense, but the offense just isn't there. And it's a real lack of consistency. It's one of the reasons why I stress the need for a trade so badly. Right? So many people are like, oh no, we're fine. We're not fine. We're far from fine. We are not a contender. And even if everyone's healthy and ready to go, like all the guys that were injured, they're not offensive guys. Like Jared Vanderbilt being out the entire time, he's not helping that much with your offense. He can impact and make the offense better, because once he gets back into a flow, once he gets back in a rhythm, he's creating turnovers, which leads to more opportunities. He's getting offensive rebounds, which leads to more opportunities. He's getting deflections, which lead to more opportunities. He's getting out in transition, which leads to more opportunities. So yes, he can impact the offense. Same thing with like a Gabe Vincent, right? If he's giving you 2 steals a game, that's giving the Lakers more opportunities on the offensive side, right? If he can knock down a couple threes and be relatively efficient, that's going to help on the offensive side. But it's not going to move us from 25th to, into the top 10. It's not. We need a more impactful offensive guy. But this is good because you have Cam Reddish, you have Jared Vanderbilt, you have Anthony Davis. With just those 3 alone, you're going to be one of the best, if not the best defensive teams in the league. Then you add in a Gabe Vincent, right? And if he can be that good point of attack guard, and we do end up making a trade, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, whomever, right? Maybe it's somebody else later on down the line. We'll see between now and the trade deadline. But if you end up getting somebody that can be that offensive guard, well, then Gabe Vincent would be very helpful, very impactful, because now you have that scoring guard, and then now you have that defensive guard. Whether Gabe Vincent starts or not, you're going to run sets with Gabe Vincent alongside, let's call it Zach LaVine for argument's sake, right? Again, just using him as an example. I know a lot of people aren't super stoked on the ideas of LaVine, but just with me for argument's sake, right? Well, you could go, if you wanted to, you could go Gabe Vincent, Zach LaVine, and then go like Cam Reddish or Taurean Prince or Jared Vanderbilt with LeBron and AD, right? If you wanted to do that in the starting unit, even if you don't go with Gabe Vincent starting, let's say you just have LeBron be the point guard, you have Zach LaVine kind of point guard for position's sake, and then you go with let's say Prince and Cam Reddish, or you go with Vando and Cam Reddish, which would be my choice once Vando kind of gets his legs under him. But however you go about it, then you could bring Gabe Vincent off the bench, and you'd have Gabe Vincent and Zach LaVine as your two guards a lot of the time in the game, or even just alongside Austin Reeves, to have Gabe Vincent and Austin Reeves. Now you're more impactful on the defensive side, right? So you always have that point of attack, just perimeter guy at all times, whether that's Jared Vanderbilt, Cam Reddish, or Jared Vanderbilt and Gabe Vincent, or it's Gabe Vincent, Cam Reddish, whomever. You can always kind of just rotate those guys with the other guys, and I think it'll just make the Lakers better. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel about the Lakers getting Gabe Vincent back? Are you excited to see his debut? Again, don't expect him to just be shooting the lights out and just being this great elite defensive guy today, because it's going to take some time to get his feet wet, as you're seeing with Jared Vanderbilt. But how you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. It helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.